This is, of course, Tech for Senior. It is March the 9th. Hopefully everybody didn't suffer too much from their loss of an hour of sleep, and hopefully everybody got to the show on time today. Anyway, it is, of course, we're getting the days will get longer and we're going to get warmer and it's going to be spring. It is spring. Hopefully everyone had a good week. We have a big show for you today. I wanted to remind everybody about the premiere video that we have lined up for you today online. For those of you who have our newsletter, you will have been able to watch this over the weekend. The three selections that we've got for you today are travel planning with Google Maps. I'll be talking about that. Hewie's going to talk about the archives of tech treasure. Remember that, Hewie? Going back a few years. And Chris Guld is going to talk on how to use TripIt to organize your travel bookings. And that will all occur, well, it's online now, and you can watch it now or after the show. Hopefully you stay and watch the show. Huey, how did your week go? And you had a WinSig on Sunday.
I had a WinSig yesterday, yep.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It went pretty well. Lots of good information, good topics, and had a good time. And then afterwards, Drew did some bits on a couple of programs and lots of good questions and answers. So we had a long afternoon.
Excellent, excellent. And Bill James has something to show us. Did you want to show the group what you have in your... Explain what that is. That is the brand new Samsung Ultra, right?
S26.
S26. Nothing but the best for Bill. Just got it. Bill's promising us a whole bunch of videos about it and how he made the transaction and all the interesting things he did for that. So we look forward to more on that, Bill. And Murray Strome, the man who you just got to watch the video today on Tech News. They're chasing him down the shopping aisle as he's trying to get our news broadcast organized. So well done, Murray. You come through thick or thin. And Mike Leaman, are you in snow or out of snow or what's happening?
Actually, it's a beautiful day here today. It's about 50 degrees Fahrenheit and the sun shining, and it's supposed to be even warmer tomorrow. And then we've got snow coming on Wednesday and Thursday. So typical March in the Maritimes.
Typical March. Excellent. All right, well, let's get the show going. We're going to just let me get going here and we'll get to the tech news of the week.
Welcome to Tech for Senior and our weekly news update. We've got a lot to cover, so let's jump right into the latest in technology.
Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm Ron Brown. This is Tech News of the Week by Tech for Senior. This is being recorded on March the 7th for our show on March the 9th. Today on our panel, we have, of course, Hewie Poplock from Bradenton, Florida. We have Mike Leaman from Moncton, New Brunswick, and Murray Strome from Victoria, British Columbia. Just to remind everybody before we start, if you want to follow along with us, all the articles we talk about are on our Facebook page. Just go over to Facebook, type in Tech for Senior, and you'll find us. And you can follow the articles along as we go through them. And we only cover a small amount of articles because we're posting them every day. All right, Hewie, who's up first?
It is Mike.
Mike, go ahead.
Samsung made the big announcement this week, their first details of their AI smart glasses. So they're going head-to-head with Meta, who currently have about 82% of the smart glass market. So that's coming. They say they'll be out within the year. They're going to feature a camera and be connected through their smartphones. So look for that in the near future.
Microsoft Copilot on Windows 11 can now sync your passwords. Actually, they're testing it. They're testing a new mini browser for Copilot on Windows 11 that allows AI to sync with Microsoft Edge to access saved passwords and autofill data. Microsoft finally gives you greater control over print screen key. A new Windows 11 update allows you to remap the print screen key to launch third-party snipping tools or other apps instead of the default Windows snipping tool. Okay, yep. The latest Pixel update introduces significant upgrades to Now Playing and Circle to Search, alongside several new AI-driven capabilities for Google's flagship devices.
Yeah, this is a Canadian story. This is Freedom Mobile cuts global roaming plan to $40 a month, undercuts Rogers, TELUS, and Bell. This is an excellent plan if you are traveling. This was what my daughter signed up with this summer. It's an excellent international plan for Canadian consumers.
I want one. Ron,
yeah, this is a biggie. This is exciting times. This is the new Motorola Razr 2026. It is the flip phone. We don't have a price on it yet, but it is being released as I speak, and hopefully we'll get some pricing. This, I think, is going to be a hot seller. This isn't a foldable phone. This is a flip phone. Samsung, of course, has had this out for quite a while, so we'll see how this is going to work out. Exciting times. Yeah, this is a huge story this week. This is the big story this week. Apple, of course, releases the new iPhone 17e, which is going to come in at U.S. pricing at around $599. This is going to be a big news item. It's going to be a big winner, I think, for Apple. It's going to be probably around $899 Canadian. This is a brand new phone, the iPhone 17e. Now, in combination with that, the other thing that's even more important, I think, is they announced the MacBook Neo, which is going to be released for $599 US. So you can buy an Apple MacBook for $599. That is insane. It's going to have the A18 Pro chip in it, which actually is the chip they use to power cell phones. So that's part of the reason they're going to be able to do this, is because they're using one of their cell phone chips to run this MacBook Neo. They hope this is going to be a strong competitor to, guess what, Hewie? Chromebooks. So we'll see how this all plays out. But this is a very interesting developing story, and I think these will be very popular.
And Mike?
Oh, not only we talked about the fact that AI is causing an extreme run on RAM, it's now affecting the cost of fiber optic networking because of all the fiber optics that are required to man these data centers, to man the AI servers, and so on. So the cost of fiber optic cables is going up. So AI is not cheap.
An increasing number of restaurants and bars are implementing cell phone bans to encourage social interaction and improve the overall dining atmosphere for guests. So be prepared to turn in your phone while you eat, and you get it on the way out.
I get a feeling that's not going to go over very well. I don't think. Anyway, I agree with it, but I don't know.
Google's Notebook LM, which Ron uses extensively, has introduced a feature that transforms notes into AI-generated video summaries while simultaneously upgrading its collaborative AI mode canvas. And Ron, we've been talking a little bit about Raspberry Pi, and we ought to do something with it. And this is a guide that highlights common mistakes consumers make when choosing a Raspberry Pi, emphasizing that higher priced models often are overkill for simple hobbyist projects.
This was interesting. Amazon Web Services launches a new AI agent platform specifically designed for healthcare. Again, this will probably be more to talk about this as they're ramping up services with lab and pharmacy as well. So they're divided. Anyway, it's just movement that Amazon is moving into healthcare. OpenAI launched ChatGPT 5.4 with Pro and Thinking versions. So I tried that. I have 5.4 now. You probably will if you're using it, and it's a new version. Right. This was an interesting story about Samsung, the new Samsung phone that's just being released, and I wanted to point this out. Samsung Galaxy Store launches exclusive benefits program for Galaxy device users. I know a lot of you, and we do this with Pixel as well. You go out and you're looking to purchase new phones, but the Pixel Store and Samsung's Galaxy Store offer unique opportunities for you. They offer points that will give you a reduction in price. They offer you bonus amounts for returning and purchasing more products. There's all sorts of things you should look at before buying it from a reseller or a locked phone from one of the service providers. So have a look at the actual benefits at the Samsung or Google store. Yes, this was interesting. Science Corp raises $230 million as it races to bring its brain implant to market. And this is where they're using a small AI chip in the eye for macular degeneration and giving people sight. So this is a huge new technology that works, and it's helping people who have blindness with macular degeneration be able to see again. Oh, this was an interesting story. There's no picture with this, but Pope Leo tells priests not to use AI to write homilies or seek likes on TikTok. I thought that was an interesting story.
Okay, this is really interesting. The Anthropic Academy is completely free, and they have a whole bunch of courses on how to use AI. So if you're wanting to learn really more about AI than we can do in our 10-minute segments, you might take a look at Anthropic Academy.
Excellent. Thanks, Murray. This is an interesting story. U.S. Supreme Court rejects AI copyright case. No human, no copyright. So there was of course, concern that if you create an AI image and there is no human interaction with that, you just create the image, then the Supreme Court says there is no copyright on that image. So it is only if there is input from the user. So it's interesting. This whole copyright thing with AI is going to continue on for a while. Oh, this is interesting. Meta tests AI shopping tool to challenge ChatGPT and Gemini. Yes, if you are not using shopping with Gemini or ChatGPT, you're really losing out. Well, guess what? Meta's coming up with some more stuff on that. So watch carefully.
I just finished processing an audio recording of about 2 hours, and I used Plaud, Plaud, which
not Claude,
not Claude. It's
okay.
Plaud with a P, and it came free of charge theoretically with a audio recording device, which is designed to sit on the table. Actually, it's no bigger than a credit card. Amazing, the technology of the hardware. And then you feed that into the website, and it processes the meeting minutes. And I had chosen Alter AI as my primary AI. And so once I got a transcript with Plaud, I copied and pasted it into Alter AI. It gave me a very nice, for example, it took out the ums, uhs, and all the other stuff that we blow our nose and cough and hem and ha and all the rest of that. Actually, the meeting, one of the ladies came with her 6-month-old baby who was screaming and hollering in the background and got recorded, obviously, but the AI knew to take it out. But it gave me a meeting summary, and then it gave me action items. It gave me a very nice spreadsheet kind of table that listed everybody who was responsible, all the motions, either defeated or passed. It was pretty good. And when I was done, and sent it off to the chairman of the organization that I was supporting, I went back to Plaud and I said, all right, now what else does Plaud have? And it turned out Plaud also had a meeting summary. It actually had a transcript summary first and then had a meeting summary. The meeting summary actually was in the form of minutes. And I found out that Alter AI had left out all kinds of action items that Plaud picked up. So a reminder that if you're ever doing any kind of extensive research, always do more than one AI because
Absolutely, yeah.
they may leave stuff out.
Now, Plaud, was this hardware and software or just software?
Yeah, hardware and software. Plaud gives you a rudimentary capability as part of the purchase of the hardware free. And then there's like about a $250 subscription on an annual basis for their full AI suite. And the interesting thing is I did this on Zoom. So Zoom also gives you, if you have a paid version, gives you an analysis. But I found Zoom's analysis wasn't good enough for a meeting that needed, a full set of minutes and then an analysis of what the minutes said. So
in order to do it from a Zoom meeting, though, how much would it cost minimum
to use Plaud?
to use Plaud? Yeah.
1,200 minutes a month transcription, a 10,000 plus professional templates. Ask Plaud so you can say, okay, go, I need to know specifically what did Mike Ungerman say he was going to do that he shouldn't have said he was volunteering for. And a whole bunch of templates. And so when you ask Plaud to analyze it, it'll say, is this a professional meeting? Is this a community organization? Is this a government? Is this a commercial company? And so users of Plaud have contributed templates, and you get that. And then you can yourself, if you've done a number of meetings and say, well, it seems to be leaving stuff out that I really want, then you can actually go into an interactive feature and create a template and say, apply this to all future recordings. So I'll put that here in the chat.
And Mike, are you saying the AI that you use is Alter, ALTER, or Otter?
ALTER.ai. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I think if you look it up on the web, it's Alter Systems. So I'll put that in there too.
Thanks.
Alter Systems is interesting because most of the AIs that are out there, and they have to come from large companies with tremendous resources and money and corporate policies and maybe agendas. So if you're going to use Google's Gemini, Google is going to be behind it, and all of its training is going to reflect their corporate policies. If you're using Meta's AI, it's going to have Meta's, censorship and whatever behind it. So Alter AI's big claim to fame is truth, they say. Now, who is Alter AI? I have no idea, but it's supposed to be a consortium of people that are dedicated to actually getting facts into their AI and not, they'll screen out abusive kinds of searches and things. But other than that, it's not supposed to be political, any religious affiliation, any corporate affiliation. And I just found it gave me some very good things. What else did I do with it? I actually had it prepare an agenda for the upcoming meeting based on emails that I had gotten from the organizer. He said, well, Mike, at the upcoming meeting, here's what I want to talk about. And some of the things he talked about had references to information that was available on the web if you wanted to go get it. But all you really had to do was say, hey, I want to talk about this subject, and here's where the source material is from this organization and this organization and this organization. So with the focus that the chairman wants, give me an agenda for the upcoming meeting. And then I said, okay, and this is a meeting that is run by a group of service organizations. There's 18 different service organizations in our county, American Legion, VFW, and so on. So it actually then went to the various service organizations' public websites and pulled up information about them. And it knew what the format of a meeting should be, an opening, an invocation, pledge of allegiance to the flag, and so on. And it just gave a complete format for the meeting. I sent that to the organizer and he said, boy, that's pretty good. Saved me a lot of work. So it's just amazing overall what these things can do.
Yes, I ordered one for my community, and I'm going to be testing it for them for the next 30 days. If we decide to keep it, I'll do some reports on it.
Okay, thank you, Hewie. Now, have you ever been popping, pop, pop, pop when you're doing a recording? Let's see what we can. Murray's got a solution for us here.
You already know that great audio is everything. Well, today we're going to tackle one of the biggest, most common audio headaches, and the best part, we're going to do it for free. Yeah, let's get rid of that annoying pop sound for good.
You just nailed the perfect line, and what do you hear? That awful, distracting pop every single time you say a P or a B.
There's a technical name for this, plosives. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's this sudden burst of air literally exploding from your mouth and just slamming into your microphone's super sensitive diaphragm. Think about it. Words like podcast, powerful, brilliant. Without something to block that air, you overload the mic and get that ugly, unprofessional sound we all hate.
But here's the thing. What if the solution is already sitting in your house right now?
A plain old wire hanger, a pair of nylons, some basic tools you've probably got under a drawer somewhere. That's it. This is literally all you need to build a pop filter that works just as well as the ones you'd buy in a store.
Or even better.
Okay, so let's get our toolkit ready. Think of it more like a quick little scavenger hunt around your house.
First up, a simple wire coat hanger. Next, find an old pair of nylons or pantyhose. You'll also need to track down some pliers, a roll of electrical tape, and a pair of scissors. And last but not least, find something round to use as a form, like a small bucket, a big coffee can.
First things first, we're going to take that flimsy wire hanger and turn it into the actual frame for our pop filter. Grab your pliers and untwist the neck of the hanger. Now, straighten the whole thing out until you have one long piece of wire. Next, take your bucket or whatever round thing you found and wrap the wire around it to make a nice clean circle. See that leftover wire? That's going to be your handle. Just bend it straight down. And for the final touch, use those pliers again to bend the very end of the handle into a little.
It should look something just like this. A circle for the frame with a nice long handle. This is the skeleton of a pro level audio tool. See where the wire twists together at the handle? Grab your electrical tape and wrap that spot up really well. This does two things. One, it makes the whole thing way more secure. And two, it covers up any sharp metal ends.
All right, frame is done. Now it's time for the magic ingredient.
Okay, take your scissors and just cut a good-sized chunk from the leg of the nylons. Now, really carefully stretch that piece of fabric over the wire loop, kind of like you're putting a sock on it.
Do it again with the other sock.
Pull it really tight. You want a super smooth surface with no wrinkles, because that's what's going to diffuse the air. Once it's nice and taut, just gather the extra material down at the base and use some more of that electrical tape to lock it down to the handle. And that's it. Just like that, you are done. You've actually built your own high-quality, totally functional pop filter. Put it a few inches away from your microphone, and you can start recording with total confidence.
You didn't need a huge budget. You didn't need a trip to a fancy store. All you needed was a little bit of creativity to make a massive improvement in your sound quality.
There you go. All you gotta do is find some nylons, right? All right. The next one I want to talk about is something that I think we need to talk a little bit more, and it's about partner sharing in Google Photos. Many of you don't know about this. I've asked Chris Guld to do this for us. Let's see what Chris has to say on partner sharing in Google Photos.
Google Photos stores all of our lifetime of photos. I have my lifetime of photos. Jim has his lifetime of photos. Because of a feature called partner sharing, we are able to see each other's. Now, this feature only allows one partner. You can't partner with multiple people, just one. You can share all of your photos, or just since a certain date, or just certain people. And you can automatically save those to your own account, or you can leave it alone and you just have to go look, and I'll show you this. So we share and save photos of each other. So I want Jim to take a picture of me right now that I can then show you in a minute.
All right, I'm going to take a picture of you.
He took a picture of me with his phone. His phone uses Google Photos, and we have partner sharing settings set. I want to show you that. So the settings, you just go to settings on either your phone or the computer, and sharing. So settings, sharing, and then partner sharing. And these are how we have our settings set. I share all of my photos with him. He shares all of his photos with me. I allow him to see the location of photos. That's that little check mark. And for the photos from Jim, I have mine set to automatically save to my account any pictures that he takes with either of our faces in it. Google Photos partner sharing, how we use it. Our entire library, and automatically saving photos of us. So let me show you my Google Photos. I go to the web, I go to Google Photos, and I refresh. And what I'm looking for, it should automatically show me the photo that he just took of me. It's being a little slow. Let me see if it's available on the phone. There we go. And so it'll be on the computer in a minute. But here on my phone, in my Google Photos, there is the picture that Jim just took of me. Whenever he takes a picture of me, I get it because of the partner sharing. But now there's another photo that I know he took. I know he took this beautiful photo in 𝕤𝕝𝕐, and I want it. So how do I go get it? This time I am going to go back just to the computer. Let me refresh and see if that photo of me is there now. Yep. So there's the photo of me that he just took. I want to get a different picture from him. On this left side menu, I can click on Jim's Photos. He's my partner. Jim's Photos. And now I am seeing all his photos. And there is that one that I think is so beautiful and I want it. All I do is click Save, and now that photo is in my library. If I go back to my Google Photos, and I take more than he does, so I have to scroll back a little ways. There's the picture I took in 𝕤𝕝𝕐, and there's the picture that he took. And if I look at the info, it tells me that this was shared by Jim Guld and saved to my photos. So that is Google Photos partner sharing.
All right, thanks, Chris. Now, today I wanted to talk about something I showed you last week, and it's about Google Flow, which is their new video creation, one of their new video creation tools. So let's have a look and see what Google Flow is all about. What if you could create an entire movie scene just by creating it with words? No cameras, no actors, and no editing software. Google has just introduced something called Google Flow, and it might become one of the world's most powerful AI filmmaking tool ever created. Google Flow is an experimental AI filmmaking tool from Google, currently found in Google Labs. Think of it as an AI movie studio. Instead of using cameras, actors, lighting, or editing software, you simply describe a scene and AI creates it. Good day, everyone. I'm Ron Brown with Tech for Senior, where we help seniors understand technology and make technology simple. Today I want to show you Google Flow, which is an amazing product. It is free, it is available at Google Labs, and it is very simple to use with some pretty interesting results. So let's have a look at Google's new video creation tool called Google Flow. Okay, let's find Google Flow. So the first thing we're going to do is go to Google Labs, and if you haven't been here before, just go to labs.google.com, and you're going to come up with this menu here. Now, there's a lot going on here, but we want to find Flow. So we're going to come over to the Experiments tab, click on Experiments, and now you're going to see a lot of stuff here. But we're going to focus now because we want to do Flow. So you come down and you hit the Create button here. Okay, hit Create. And now we're going to scroll down and we're going to hit Flow. And here's Flow. And this is their new experimental filmmaking tool that we talked about before. And we're going to hit the button Create with Flow. Now, when it comes up here, this is the initial screen that you're going to get. Now let's look at the technology behind Flow. Google combined several AI models. Now Gemini is the brain. It understands prompts, story ideas, scene descriptions, and dialogue. It helps turn your idea into instructions for the video AI. Now Veo is the video generation engine. It creates realistic video, cinematic movement, camera angles, lighting effects. Veo can generate clips that look surprisingly like real movie footage. Then the third is Imagen, and Imagen creates objects, environments, and visual elements. These help build the visual world of the scene. Now, Flow takes all three of these AI building blocks and creates the product, the movie that you've asked the prompt to create. Okay, now we're entering into Flow. Now, if you scroll down here, you'll see all sorts of things that Flow can do. And I'm not going to go through all those. You can do that yourself. So just scroll down. It says scroll to explore, and you can just scroll down and see all the incredible things it can do. But I want to come over here and we're going to create with Flow, and this is going to take you into your account. Now, a couple of things. These are some of my projects that I've been working on, but I want you to sort of go up to the right and look at your account. And this may vary depending on what type of services you have and what country you're in. As I said, Google Labs is free to use, and for the most part, the horsepower you're going to use is often free. But let's just have a look at Flow. Now I have Gemini Pro. I pay a yearly fee for Gemini, and if you click my icon here, you'll see that I have 940 AI credits. Now you can manage your membership here, and you certainly sign out. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because I guess with my Pro account, I get 900, maybe 1,000 credits with that account, which allows me to do things within Flow. And I suppose everybody's going to be a bit different. It depends on what service you've signed up for, what country you're in, and how your Google account is working. All right, we're in Flow now. We've opened up a new project, and what I've put in here, we're going to create a short video clip, and I've given it some specific instructions. I've said a cinematic drone shot of Vancouver Island coastline at sunrise, calm waves, golden light reacting on the water, peaceful atmosphere. So I've put some very specific mood in, I've put some scene changes in, I've given it some specific instructions. So let's see how it does. Okay, here's what it has done for us. Let's play this and see. This is the first one. It's given us two options here. Let's see how this looks here. And let's see how this one looks. Now, what makes Flow different? Well, most AI tools create short video clips. Google Flow aims to create complete cinematic scenes. It focuses on storytelling, cinematic camera movement, scene continuity, and professional filmmaking tools. This is closer to Hollywood production software powered by AI. Okay, let's have a look here. Now, what I've done is I've added a couple of images. I've added an image of, this is one off my deck of my home looking towards the marina, and this is another looking to the left of my home on a sunrise image. And I've added those as my start and stop video. So we have our existing video, and I said I want a video of my home. And I'm going to have that now create a video and see how it incorporates these in. Now let's compare Google Flow versus Google Vids versus Canva. Google Flow is best for cinematic AI video, storytelling, and filmmaking. Google Vids is best for presentations, business videos, and training clips. Canva is best for social media, marketing videos, and YouTube graphics. So let's simplify this. Google Flow is an AI movie studio. Google Vids is an AI presentation maker, and Canva is a design and social media video tool. All right, let's just recap what we've done. Remember, I've given it specific instructions, and it's created these two videos for me. Then what I did was I added two pictures. On the right-hand side, you'll see these two pictures, and I've asked it to create a video using these two pictures. This is just a quick example. So let's have a look at the first video it's created. Okay, and then let's look at the second one, a little bit different, but interesting. So this is just a short example of the power of Flow. It's incredible, and as you build your video up, adding more either videos or images, it's amazing what you can do. Pretty exciting. Give it a try. It's free, and it's on Google Labs. How to get access? Well, currently Google Flow is experimental. It's inside Google Labs, so just head over to labs.google, join experiments, and look up Flow. Flow is free and available for everybody who has access to it, but this might depend on what country you're in and what service you have signed up for at Google. It's different depending on your location. But most of you, I think, will probably have access to it. Give it a try, and it's lots of fun. So my final thoughts about Google Flow. Well, we're entering a world where anyone can create a cinematic video just by describing it. Tools like Google Flow may change how movies, such as YouTube videos, and even documentaries are made. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Click the like and subscribe to follow our channel. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon. All right. Interesting times. Hewie, I think you're up with Upnote.
Yep. Welcome to Upnote, a digital notebook app designed to be simple and accessible for everyone. I'm Hewie Poplock. Upnote is for people of all ages who want an easy way to stay organized. Upnote lets you keep all your notes, lists, and ideas in one central place. Works across all of your devices, phone, tablet, computer, so your information is always with you. No complicated features or a steep learning curve, just straightforward note-taking that works. This guide is beginner-friendly, so we'll walk through everything step by step. Upnote is a digital notebook app, basically a paper notebook, but on your devices. The key benefit is safe storage and accessibility across your phone, tablet, and computer. The three main features are writing notes for thoughts, reminders, and ideas on the go, creating lists, grocery, to-do, packing, etc., all in one place, storing and saving important documents so nothing gets lost. The core value is that everything stays organized, searchable, and accessible wherever you are. Note-taking is digital but personal. Why do people use note apps? Digital notebooks are useful in everyday life. They're practical tools we reach for constantly. Here are 6 use cases. Grocery lists, convenience of building at home and checking off items in real time while shopping. Travel plans, centralized location for all travel details, hotels, flights, packing lists. Medication notes, health information organized and accessible, dosages and doctor instructions in one place. Recipe, your favorite recipes. No more searching through papers and old notebooks. Recipes are always at your fingertips. Password hints, security tip. Password hints, a security tip. Store hints rather than full passwords to avoid lockouts. Reminders, keep track of appointments, meetings, and important dates you can't afford to miss. These examples show the versatility of note apps. They work for practical daily tasks, health management, travel, and organization. Having this information with you on your phone means it's always with you when you need it. I've been using Evernote since 2008. Evernote was the note-taking app for years, but it's lost its way. The problems that drove people away. Annual subscriptions have now jumped to around $250 a year, a huge jump that shocked users, including me. The interface became cluttered and confusing over time. The app slowed down, especially on older devices. Free tier got gutted, forcing people to pay or leave. This created the perfect opening for alternative, like users started questioning if Evernote was worth the cost. People wanted simplicity back. They were actively searching for something better and cheaper. This dissatisfaction is what opened the door for Upnote to step in as a real alternative. Simpler, more affordable, and focused on what users actually wanted. Upnote's core philosophy is simple, clean, and affordable. No unnecessary complexity or premium pricing. Here's what's different. The uncluttered interface lets users focus on their notes without distractions. Cross-device. It has broad compatibility. Windows, Mac, iPhone, Android, iPad, so notes are accessible anywhere. It auto-syncs. The seamless experience of writing on one device and having it instantly available on another. It's a lifetime purchase. It's a value proposition, a one-time payment of $39.99 versus ongoing subscription fees. Its organization enables the speed and efficiency of finding notes through folders and labels. These features combine to make Upnote the practical choice for users who want functionality without complexity or cost. Upnote keeps things simple while giving you everything you need. Here are the 6 main features. Notebooks. Organizes by category. Health, travel, family recipes, and so on. Tags. Quickly labeling systems with pound important, pound recipe for fast searching. Text formatting, bold, enlarge, or color text to highlight what matters. Adding images, snap photos of receipts, prescriptions, anything, stores right in the note. Checklists, build to-do lists, and track progress as you complete items. Pinning notes, keep your most used notes at the top for instant access. These features work together to keep you organized without overwhelming complexity. Upnote keeps your notes organized with 3 simple methods that work together. Notebooks, tags, search. All 3 work together. It just works. No manual uploads, no syncing buttons to press. The key requirement is that you sign in with the same account across devices, then syncing is completely automatic. This is about convenience and peace of mind. Your notes are always accessible and always up to date. Here are some practical real-world examples of seniors who are already using Upnote successfully. Medication lists, home maintenance, travel information, club and meeting notes, password hints, favorite recipes. These are just examples. Think of your own needs and how Upnote can help you. Price is a major factor driving people to switch from Evernote to Upnote. Upnote is intentionally simple and focused. That's its strength. But let's be transparent about what it doesn't do. Upnote is intentionally simple and focused. That's its strength. But let's be transparent about what it doesn't do. On the left, what Upnote excels at. The core note-taking experience. It's fast, lets you organize with notebooks and tags. It syncs seamlessly and keeps everything clean and distraction-free. On the right, the features it deliberately leaves out. No email integration. And it says no web clipper. You know, I got this from a list, and there is a web clipper, and I'm using it, and it works well. Not quite as good as the Evernote, but it's a good web clipper. No assistant AI, no collaboration features, no calendar or task management with due dates. For most people doing everything by note-taking, these missing features won't matter at all. Upnote nails the fundamentals, and that's what counts. If you need these advanced features, there are other tools for that. But if you want a note-taking app that does one thing well, Upnote is worth considering. Getting started with Upnote is really straightforward. Just 4 simple steps that take less than 10 minutes. Step 1, download the app. You can store it on your iPhone or iPad, Google Play for Android, or Upnote.me for the desktop. Just search for Upnote and hit download. Step 2, create an account. Open the app, sign up with your email. Choosing a strong password is important. Remember, that's what keeps your notes secure and synced across devices. Step 3, start a notebook. Tap the plus button to create your first notebook. You can name it whatever you want, My Notes, Health Info, or anything that works for you. Step 4, add your first note. Once you're in the notebook, you tap New Note and start typing. It could be a grocery list, a phone number, anything. That's it. You're ready to go. The whole process is designed to be intuitive, so don't worry if you're new to note-taking apps. You'll be up and running in minutes. And I have found the web clipper works really well. When I'm at websites, I just tell it to open it and place it in Upnote. It does very quickly, and it's done. Upnote offers a clean, simple, and affordable solution for note-taking that doesn't require technical expertise. The core benefits: simple, No learning curve. Anyone can start using it immediately. It's affordable, free entry point with a one-time lifetime purchase option, transparent pricing, no hidden costs. It works everywhere, seamless, sync across all devices automatically. Upnote is the ideal starting point for anyone wanting organization without complexity or expense. The next video that I'm going to put together will be comparing Evernote and how I've been using Evernote over the last many years, and then using Upnote. And there's some questions in the chat that I'll answer in our Q&A.
Okay, thank you, Hewie. Just before we get on to Mike's segment now, I want to thank everyone for coming that's over in our live feed. Don't forget that we have our premiere video up and running now, and please have a look at that. And if not, we'll see you again, same time, same place next week. All right, Mike, let me just stop the live stream here, and we'll get you going.
Okay, well, this week's Entertainment Corner, you can play the video and I'll come back after that. How's that?
Sounds good. Okay, we'll do that.
You ever stop and think about a random day on the calendar? Like, what actually happened on that day throughout history? Well, today we're going to do just that. We're diving deep into one specific day, March 9th, and you'll be amazed at the stories it holds. Let's peel back the layers. So let me ask you something. What do an opera, a doll, and a funk legend all have in common? Sounds like the start of a weird joke, right? But the answer is actually a date, March 9th. And trust me, this isn't just some random day. It's this incredible intersection of beginnings, dramatic endings, and straight-up revolutions that have totally shaped our culture. All right, so let's kick things off with a day of firsts. March 9th, it turns out, is a major launching pad for ideas. Ideas that would go on to define culture for decades to come. And just look at this timeline. I mean, the sheer span of time we're talking about is wild. We're literally hopping from a classical opera in the 1840s all the way to the birth of a pop culture icon, and then to the very beginning of a Motown supergroup, and it all happened on March 9th. How crazy is that? So let's start our journey way back in 1842. Picture this, Milan. The curtains go up for a new opera called Nabucco by this guy Giuseppe Verdi. This wasn't just another night at the opera, okay? This was the moment. It launched his career and put him on the map as a giant of Italian opera. You could say a huge cultural seed was planted right there on March 9th. Okay, now let's jump forward in time, way forward. We're talking over a century later. And we're leaving the fancy opera house in Milan behind for a crowded, buzzing toy fair in New York City. A totally different scene, right? Well, a very, very different kind of icon was about to be introduced to the world. And the impact? Whoa. It was absolutely staggering. We're talking over 1 billion, with a B. That's how many Barbie dolls have been sold since she first showed up on this day in 1959. You really can't overstate her influence. I mean, she changed pop culture, fashion, the way kids play, forever. And it all kicked off on March 9th. And believe it or not, the firsts on this day just kept on coming. Only 2 years after Barbie hit the scene, in 1961, a brand new group of young women from Detroit dropped their debut single. Now, I Want a Guy wasn't exactly a chart topper, but that didn't matter. What mattered was that this was the very first step for the Supremes on their path to becoming, well, music royalty. You know, it's not just about what happened on this day, but also who was born on it. And March 9th gave us this incredible range of creative geniuses. Seriously, you've got the guy behind the hauntingly beautiful Adagio for strings, Samuel Barber. Then you have a pioneer of free jazz, Ornette Coleman. And then there's John Cale, a founder of the super influential rock band, The Velvet Underground. I mean, what a wild mix of talent to all share the same birthday. Okay, but March 9th isn't just about firsts. It's also about music's turning points. We're talking about those moments of massive change where music and culture just took a sharp, unexpected turn. All right, get this. It's 1970. You're James Brown. You're literally known as the hardest working man in show business. And on March 9th, your entire band quits, just walks out over a pay dispute. For basically any other artist on the planet, that's it. Career over. A total disaster. But this is James Brown we're talking about. He didn't just panic. He turned that crisis into one of the most important moments in music history. He goes out and hires this super young, super hungry band from Cincinnati, including a future legend on bass named Bootsy Collins. This new lineup, they became the JBs. And they didn't just save his career, they went on to pioneer that heavy, unmistakable funk sound that defined the entire 1970s. Okay, let's fast forward again, this time to 1987. On this exact day, U2 drops an album that launches them into the stratosphere. We're talking about the Joshua Tree. You know the songs, With or Without You, Where the Streets Have No Name. This wasn't just another album release. It was a cultural event. It made them global megastars, and to this day, it's one of the best-selling albums of all time. And turning points in music aren't always just about the music itself. Sometimes it's about what music can do. Check out this lineup from 1972. Barbra Streisand, James Taylor, Carole King, Quincy Jones, all on the same stage. This wasn't some huge festival. It was a benefit concert for presidential candidate George McGovern. It was this really rare moment where you see music royalty banding together, trying to use their platform for political change. So we've talked about beginnings and turning points, but every story has an ending. So now we're going to shift gears a bit, get a little more reflective, and talk about final curtains. Looking at last performances and just how complex a legacy can be. This next one, it's a quieter moment, but man, is it powerful. On March 9th, 1975, Elvis Presley, the King, walked into RCA's studio in Hollywood. Of course, he had no way of knowing it then, but that session would be the start of his final studio recordings. Ever. It's just a quiet beginning to the end of a massive era in music. And look at this. The contrast here is just staggering. On March 9th, just 1 year apart, the world lost two icons from completely different worlds. You have George Burns, a legend of comedy who lived to be 100 years old. And then you have the Notorious B.I.G., a hip-hop pioneer whose life was cut tragically short at just 24. This one day holds both a long life celebrated and a devastating unsolved loss. It really shows you the whole spectrum of what a legacy can be. And there's another voice we lost on this day, one you've definitely heard, Brad Delp. Even if the name doesn't ring a bell, his voice will. He was the lead singer of the band Boston. Yeah, the guy who sang More Than a Feeling. An absolutely iconic voice in rock history, and another huge loss for music on March 9th. Okay, so we've talked about final curtains. But March 9th isn't done with us yet. It has one more twist, a story that kind of proves that in culture, an ending isn't really the end. It's more like a pause. Enter the comeback kid. So check this out. In 2023, for the first time since 1987, and hey, remember, that's the same year U2 released The Joshua Tree, vinyl records outsold CDs in the US. I mean, think about that for a second. This technology that everyone thought was dead and buried made this massive, triumphant comeback. And that brings me to the final idea I want to leave you with. It all comes down to this idea called the cultural cycle. It's pretty simple, really. What's old eventually becomes new again. Think about it. Styles, sounds, even technologies. They don't just vanish. They just kind of go to sleep for a while, waiting for a new generation to find them and make them cool again. And this whole vinyl record comeback, it's the perfect example of that happening right before our eyes. So from an opera in the 1800s to the legacy of Biggie Smalls to the incredible return of vinyl, March 9th really shows us that a single day isn't just a square on the calendar. It's like a living, breathing archive of everything we create. It really makes you think, right? What other stories are hiding on all the other days of the year? What's tomorrow's story going to be?
And that was Today in History on March 9th. Now, a couple of things here. The streaming pick of the week, the prime pick of the week, the movie for this week is a movie called Eddie from 2017. It's available on both Amazon and Tubi. And it's the story of an 83-year-old woman who believes it's never too late. She packs a camping bag, leaves her life behind, and embarks on an adventure she never got to have, climbing the imposing Mount Sullivan in Scotland. And it's a really good story. When you see a group of people stay spellbound and completely speechless for an hour and a half, it's got to be a good movie. The musical selection for this week, again, back to an old timer from the music world, Neil Sedaka. Passed away just a little over a week ago. Had a career that died off and then resurged. And tonight, the clip we're going to hear today is Breaking Up is Hard to Do. And so I'll have Ron play those two links, and I'll post the links for them up in the chat. That clip was from the mid-70s when he had a renewal of his career. His career actually died off and he moved to the UK, where he gained sort of a recycling of his career and it took off again. The link that I supplied in the chat here is for a version of Breaking Up is Hard to Do from the early 1960s, maybe even late 50s, from American Bandstand. So a little bit different version of Breaking Up is Hard to Do. Anyways, that's the Entertainment Corner for this week.
Thank you so much, Mike. That's great. That was really, really interesting. I like that song. Thank you so much for doing that. And I'm going to watch that movie. That looks like a great movie. Wow. So it'll be for sure on the list, as all Mike's movies are. Excuse me. As all Mike's movies are, they're on our website. So you just go to our website on the main page. At the bottom there, you'll see Mike's movies picks, and they're all there for you. All right. Thank you for coming, everyone. We have, of course, we're moving into our Q&A, but before we do, I just want to remind everybody that, of course, we have our three selections today for you on our premiere video, Travel Planning with Google Maps. I'll be talking about that. Archives of Tech Treasures with Hewie, and using TripIt to organize travel bookings will be, of course, Chris Guld. That's all. That's available now online with the link I gave you in the chat.
Our Monday show is recorded live and available on the Tech for Senior YouTube channel later in the day and includes tech news of the week, computer skills, photography, genealogy, and selections of music and videos. Join us in person for our 7th year of fun with technology.